A very good morning to all the students of class 11th political science. And students, as you know, we were doing the first chapter of your book, that is Constitution at Work, and the name of the chapter is Constitution Why and How. So we had already finished 4 parts of this chapter, and this is the 5th part which we are going to do today, and the topic for the day is Constitution of India, and we are going to discuss about the fundamental rights which are mentioned in the part 3 of the Constitution. So although we had taken some introduction part of the topic, that is fundamental rights in the Indian Constitution, in part 4, in that I had explained you that what is the importance of fundamental rights, and this importance we understood by going through the 2 examples or 2 stories which are given in your NCERT book. Story of Asian Games, in that we saw right against exploitation. So after understanding that story of Asian Games, we understood regarding what is the importance of right, and especially in this case we understood the right against exploitation, how it works. Then in the story of Machalang Lalung, we understood what is right to life and liberty, which is also a sub title or the sub topic under right to freedom. So we understood about right to life and personal liberty. Later on, we talked about what do we understand by Bill of Rights and why these Bill of Rights are so important, and how it has come into our constitution. So all that we had covered in the part 4. So today, basically, now exactly we'll start with our fundamental rights which are there in the constitution, part 3. So in the last video we had seen something regarding the introduction to these fundamental rights, but today we are going to discuss and start with these fundamental rights. So this you can find on the page number 31 of your NCERT book. So it is very easy for all of you if I ask you what are the fundamental rights of Indian citizens which are given to us by the Constitution of India. So you will be easily able to answer right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, right to constitutional remedies. But because you have been studying this since class 6 to up to class 10th, but now you will find a difference here. We will go and study the deep meaning of these rights, where under each right, that is right to equality or right to freedom, we will also see the entire components and elements and sub laws or subtopics which come under this particular law or this particular fundamental right. So if I talk about right to equality, it doesn't mean I will just explain it in one line that when everyone is treated equally, but here we will try to understand the complete process and the complete components and elements which come under this right. That is why, as a student of political science, now whatever content you have already studied in your junior classes, we will try to cover that in a deep way. So deeply we will make a understanding of each and every topic here. So right to equality, under this we will try to understand equality before law. So it means every person is equal in front of the law. It means we will not see the status or the who is the person, is a common person or is some important celebrity of our country, but if he had committed a crime, if he has prohibited any laws and articles of the constitution, they will be treated equally by the law. So equal protection of law. Prohibition of discrimination on the grounds of religion. Everyone will be protected against the discrimination on the basis of religion, caste, race, sex, or place of birth. So there cannot be any discrimination with any citizen of our country on the basis of these elements. Okay. Now equal access to shop, hotels, wells, as in the previous times in the ancient India you talk about, or the system which our ancient period forefathers used to follow, the Varna system, in which the society was divided into 4 classes. Okay, in which we had Brahmans, Kshatriyas, Shudras, Vaishyas. In that their professions were also different, their functions were different, their social status and symbol was different. So but now it was prohibited by the constitution and everyone was treated equally, and there was equal access to shops, hotels, wells, tanks, bathing ghats, roads, etc. As you must have heard of the rural areas where some people of a particular caste or the Shudras, they had a separate wells or a separate place to get the water. They could not sit with them, with the people who were Brahmins or the Kshatriyas. So there were a lot of discrimination on the basis of caste, colors, and religion in the ancient times. So all that was now removed or abolished by the constitution. equality of opportunity public in employment. So if we talk about employment, there was equal opportunities given to everyone. Previously there were different professions assessed by different groups or different classes, we would say, but now there was equal opportunities for each and every citizens if we talked about employment in the public sector. And abolition of untouchability. This untouchability we had discussed in many junior classes, 6th, 7th, 8th, and now this has been abolished in our constitution. Previously there was a differences between the caste and the different groups in within our society, where these people who were called as untouchables, they were not given proper education, they were not given proper facilities, they were treated like animals, I would say. And abolition of titles. So all these in it means only doctors or the educationalists or the military persons, they are supposed to have the titles prefix or suffix after their name, but other than that no profession is allowed to have the titles. Because if we talk about titles like Raja, Maharaja, Nawabs, so this led to the inequalities in the society, because by hearing the name there was a particular status of a person. If you talk like Maharaja or Nawab, etc., so this was prohibited by the constitution and it was abolished. So no one can has the title except educationalists, or we can say the military people. So one by one, we will try to understand each of these fundamental rights and in detail. Like today we'll do right to equality, and in the next lecture video we shall do right to freedom. And right to freedom is a cluster of rights. There are so many rights which come under right to freedom. So this we are going to cover one by one. That is why I'm saying we'll do a deep study there. Here in before class 11th you used to just know what were the fundamental rights, but now here in detail we'll study from the roots. Okay. So right to equality, this is the first fundamental right, and we are going to discuss this from your NCERT book, and we'll start this discussion with the help of two examples or two situations, two incidents, and then we'll talk about equality. Let's see these two examples first. As they have written here, consider the following two situations. These are imaginary situations, but similar things do happen and can happen. Do you think they involve violation of fundamental rights? So these are the two situations given to you, although they are imaginary, but these things happen in our society. That is why we are talking about this. Okay, so after reading this you will be able to know that that in these situations are the violations of fundamental rights or not. So there's a person, Sudesh Kumar, is visiting his village. He is accompanied by one of his friends. So he is Sudesh Kumar, he is visiting his village, and there is a friend also with him. So they decide to take a break and have a cup of tea in their village roadside hotel. So very close to the village there is a tea stall, and they decide, let's take a tea break. The shopkeeper knows, so the shopkeeper already knows this person Sudesh Kumar, as he's a local person of that village. But he asks the name of the friend, but the shopkeeper asks what is the name of a friend. So by the name of the friend, the shopkeeper recognizes the caste of that person, as he is a Dalit. The friend of Sudesh was a Dalit. So after shopkeeper serves a tea, so when the shopkeeper served the tea to Sudesh Kumar, he serves him in a very nice mug, whereas his friend was served tea in a earthen pot that is made of mud. So because he was Dalit, because his friend was Dalit, so there we could see the discrimination and the differences or distinctions between the treatment of people when they heard about the caste. So we can see how there was a differences when we had known the caste of a particular person. So this was the one example, and the another one is an order is served to four newsreaders of television. A order has been passed to the four newsreaders of television channel. A particular channel is had given order to their newsreaders, total four newsreaders, that they would no longer read the news on screen. So they are not allowed to read the screen. So I think they are not allowed to be a part of that TV channel anymore, because and all the four are women's, and a reason, and these women have been removed from their jobs because a reason has been given, because they are now age is about 45. So now they are above 45 years of age, so they are not allowed to work there. In fact, the two males, already their own colleagues who are two males newsreaders who are also of the same age category, they are not stopped from presenting the news. It means there we see the gender discrimination. On the one hand, women who are above age of 45 now, they are not allowed to work. They are stopped from presenting the news in a particular channel. On the other hand, the males of the same age, they are allowed to present the news. So here we can see the difference of gender, and here we can see the discrimination on the basis of caste. So these are the examples of clear discrimination. So we can say there is a clear discrimination in the society when we saw these two situations, and there are many situations other than caste and gender. There are many type of inequalities and discrimination which we treat people differently. So in one instance, the discrimination is based on caste, and in the second example we said the discrimination is based on the gender. So do you think that such discrimination is justified? So do you think it is justified? Obviously no. Okay, so right to equality, that is why this right to equality comes into play. So when we talk about right to equality, we cannot explain it in a single definition. Okay, it has various dimensions, I would say, and we would talk about all the dimensions and various components of equality. So we'll see many situations in the society which we come across every day, and then we will realize, okay, this comes under right to equality. So this is a huge concept we need to understand in detail. So since it is not justified, so we talk about right to equality, because right to equality tries to do away such and other discrimination. Right to equality protects the citizens from such discriminations. It provides for equal access to public places. Right to equality talks about that every person has a access to public places like shops, hotel places or entertainment, wells, bathing ghats, places of worship. Any person can go, any person can travel and visit these places irrespective of their caste, color, language, whatsoever. There cannot be discrimination on the basis of these things. So right to equality talks about this. Also there can be any there cannot be any discrimination on the this access on the grounds only, and also there cannot be discrimination of on any person on the basis of its religion, race, caste, sex or place of birth. If we talk about this religion, if a student comes to take admission in the school, we cannot say, okay, you belong to this religion, you are not allowed to take admission in this school. So he can talk about right to equality. As a citizen of India, he or she is a student and they are a citizen of India, so no one can stop them from taking the admission in a particular school. Although entrance exam is the other part of the story, but if they are good students, they will get the admission. They cannot be uh, deprived of taking the admission on the basis of this religion or caste. It also prohibits any discrimination in public employment of any mentioned basis. So when we talk about employment, public employment, no one can be discriminated on the basis of caste or color. This right is very important. So we can see for a healthy lifestyle of any person or any citizen of India, this right to equality becomes very important because our society did not practice equal access in the past. Because if we talk about our Indian society and Indian communities, there was so much of discrimination, so much of division on the basis of status, on the basis of caste, color, languages, place of birth. So a lot of you have been seeing a lot of discrimination was there. Deprived, there were various deprived classes, and there were very ill activities and policies prevalent in our societies. So many of them have been abolished, like sati system, like untouchability. So now this rights becomes very important. Okay, now moving forward, the practice of untouchability is one of the crudest manifestations of inequality. When we talk about inequality or when we talk about right to equality, the first thing which comes to our mind is untouchability. This was a type of a system which was followed in rural India, basically, where the people treated each other in such a way that there was a lot of discrimination on the basis of caste and color. People of some particular community, they were not allowed to have the education together. They could not get the water from the same wells, Okay, they cannot sit with them, they could not have friendship with the upper caste. So it was discrimination was based on the upper caste and the lower caste. So there was a clear distinctions made in the ancient India. So now when constitution fell, there now there was a need to talk about the equality, as in the preamble also we had seen our constitution talk about equality. So these evil activities were important to be removed from the society, and constitution did that. This has been abolished now, right to under. So now this untouchability has been removed or abolished under right to equality, because when we talk about right to equality, this was a evil practice and this has been removed now. The same right also provides that the state shall confer no title on a person except those who excel themselves in military or academic field. This I have explained you. Only the people who are in the military or academic field who have excelled in these particular fields, they can have the titles or the prefix or the suffix after or before their name. Other than them, no citizen can have a title before them, like Maharaja, Raja, okay, a Nawab, because this creates insecurity in the society, differences in the society among the citizens. And we talk about equality, it means every citizen is equal in front of the law, so there should not be any titles. Exceptions are here. Thus, right to equality strives to make India a true democracy. So, when we talk about right to equality, it means right to equality is working towards striving India to a true democracy. It means, as we know, the meaning of democracy is where the people are having right to freedom, right to equality. They have the right to elect their own representative who will act on behalf of them. Okay, so India is trying to create a true democracy while acting on the right to equality. Have you ever read the preamble? As I told you to draw the preamble in the first homework. If you see the and you will read the preamble of the Constitution, how does it describe equality? Okay, how does it describe equality? You will find that preamble mentions two things about the equality. So if you read the preamble is explaining and describing two things regarding the equality, that is equality of status and equality of opportunity. It means every citizen should have the equality of status and equality of opportunity. If there will be equality of status and equality of opportunity, definitely there will be no discrimination on the basis of caste, color, language, or place of birth, etc. So equality of opportunity means all the sections of the society enjoy equal opportunity. It means every section of the society, every person, every community of the society, every person will enjoy the equal opportunities, whether we talk about education or whether we talk about jobs. Okay, whether we talk about representation in the government, everyone will have the equal opportunities. There will be no differences on the basis of caste, color, language, etc. On okay. But in the society where there are various kinds of social inequalities, what does equal opportunity mean? But also, if you will see the our society, you will find various inequalities amongst the people of various communities. So what does equal opportunity mean? This is a question. So the question clarifies. So the answer to this question, that what does the equal opportunity mean when we see so much of inequalities in the society? So the constitution clarifies that government can implement special schemes. So it's written in by the constitution itself, that the government can implement various special schemes and measures for improving the condition of certain. So there are various deprived sections in a society who do not have proper access to education or the healthy lifestyle, okay, or the job opportunities. So such societies, communities, they are being supported by the government by putting forward some special schemes and measures, so that we can improve the condition of those sections of the society, especially children, women, and socially educationally backward classes. You may have heard of the term reservations. So you must have heard of the term reservations, which we give to the societies or the people who are of the deprived classes in their jobs and for their admissions in the school. And we would have wondered, and you would have wondered why there are reservations if we follow the principle of equality. But why these reservations are required when we in the preamble we talk about the equality principle of equality, that is the base of our society. But in article 16.4, this is article 16.4 of our constitution, where you will find the clarification of by the constitution, where it clarifies that a policy like reservation will not be seen as violation of rights of equality. When we talk about reservation, it is not the violation of right to equality, because we are trying to upgrade or upbring the societies which are deprived, they are lagging behind. So to bring them up, to improve their social status, we need to give them reservation. If you will see the spirit of constitution, this is required for fulfillment of right to equality. So if we will talk about right to equality of opportunity and right to equality of status, these reservations becomes important because many communities and societies in India are deprived. They do not have basic necessities to live a healthy life, like education, and the women, children, healthcare. These are many problems for them. That is why reservations are provided to them. So with this we come to the discussion of right to equality, which was the first right to freedom when we talk about fundamental rights, and in the next video we will talk about fundamental right, that is freedom, right to freedom, and various components, as it is also called the cluster of rights. So we'll talk about that. Till then, thank you, take care. On page number 32 you can also see this article which we talked about, article 16(4), which explains that why reservations are important, and it is not prohibiting, or it is not violating the right to equality. So nothing in this article shall prevent the state from any for making any provisions for the reservation of appointments or posts in favor of any backward class of citizens which in the opinion of the state is not adequately represented in the services under the state. So they are trying to explain the same thing which we have discussed, that reservations in job and admissions are given to the educationally and socially backward classes, and this is not going to violate the right to equality. As we can see in the spirit of the constitution, this is required to fulfillment of the right to equality of opportunities. This is article 21. You must remember these articles also, as in the exam it can be asked what do you understand by article 21. So article 21, protection of life and personal liberty. As we see in this chapter, when we took the two examples from the NCERT book, and we talked about two examples when we were discussing why rights are important. So in that we talked about protection of life and personal liberty. No person shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to procedure established by law. So this is article 21, so you need to remember that. Also, this entire chart on page number 31 is really very important, and you need to draw this in your notebook. Okay, these are fundamental rights part 3. In this you will find various details are given. If we talked about right to equality, so we have discussed all these points. Now in the next video we will discuss about fundamental right to freedom as a fundamental right, and there is a cluster of rights. You can see so many rights which are combined under right to freedom, so you need to understand that. So draw this will be of great use to you. Okay.